Steve say? Okay, we're pre-live, Greg.
Pre-live. So that's a little disappointing, but it's fodder for my guy that's saying my prices are going up too high.
Yeah, it is
My
what it
insurance
is.
went up 10%.
All right, let's run it. Real lawns, real equipment, and real business. Work with your hands and do it with purpose. Turf Nerds on Turf's Up Radio, hosted by Evan Lindman and Greg Durbin. Oh.
Well, that's a great introduction.
Oh, it is.
They're talking about us.
Who are those guys? Good morning. It's Tuesday, the 24th, in the year of our Lord, 2026, Greg, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Good morning. Thanks for being here, Evan.
How you doing, sunshine?
I am doing great, except we had a little panic here going on, didn't we, just before we went live?
We did. Here, hold on. We might have to redo this here for a second. I think my mic's only going through. Bear with me, guys. This is going to be a weird... Uh-oh. Well, we're live on Facebook, but here, 1 second here. 1 second.
You mean I'm not talking to anybody? I'm just talking to myself?
I'll fix it here. Hold on. Oh, the butt is being weird. Bear with us here, guys. We're live on the Facebook, but this program is weird. This is on me. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Okay, how about now? Let's try it again. Real lawns, real equipment, and real business. Work with your hands and do it with purpose. Turf Nerds on Turf's Up Radio, hosted by Evan Lindman and Greg Durbin. All right, there, we did it again. I think I didn't have the setting right on the broadcast thing, but now it's going through. Talk to us, Greg.
Hello?
Yep.
Good morning. Hello, this is Greg.
Hello, this is Greg. Ready?
Hello, this is Greg.
Okay, good. That was hard. That was a hard pivot because what happens? It's this software, guys. I think it works better on Apple Mac computers. It's called Butt. Like literally, Greg, it's called Butt, and it's connected to Turf's Up Radio. But only my microphone was pumped in, and I'm sure I was blasting everyone out of the water. But now we're back.
All right. Well, that's good. Well, we had some odd things that happened first thing in the morning here for us just before we went live, right?
Well, I was upset, but I'm like, oh, he just bumped it. I've done that too. I've tripped over stuff and knocked out cables, and then we're trying to figure out what to do, right?
Yeah. So yesterday, after the show yesterday, I was moving to unplug something or shut something off, and apparently caught the cord on my headset. Didn't realize I had done it, and so I had to panic just before we went live, trying to figure out what was going on. So, not panic, but just little misunderstood.
No, it's fine. It's tech stuff. Before we built the walls in my new studio here, it was my walls were a play place, a toddler play gate, Greg, and the first day that we went live, our debut show, I was excited. I was coming down here. The basement was dark, and I literally tripped over the gate. So it was, You like tripping over stuff when you can't see? I mean, I've tripped in lawn care several times on my Segway, but falling down, the older you get, I'm almost 35, but I realized, Greg, falling down, the older you get, it's not always fun.
No, I think I said it the other day. I was trimming, and I was walking backward, and didn't have the mower out of the way, and I thought I forgot all about it and wound up going over. That hurt. Falling over a mower. Fortunately, I wasn't impaled, but I wound up falling over the front casters and stuff. So that was uncomfortable. So
you know what else also really hurts, Greg? And all the guys do it, and there's memes online for this, is banging your ankle or your shin on your trailer hitch. Oh. We could do a whole show on that. 856-446-8873. You ever get a bad bruise? Bang up your bruise on your trailer hitch? Phone lines work. We tested them out yesterday, but I've done that a couple times.
I have not. However, I've heard that at shops, at auto shops, the that's the most dangerous thing on a vehicle is the trailer hitch.
Really?
Or not the hitch, the the receiver.
Oh yeah, because it
And
protrudes out, and you can you can
oh
quickly
yeah,
go bye bye bye.
guys walking by it and bam, just knock them out. So they've caused a lot of damage to people, I guess. So that's
Wow.
the thing is, do you take yours off when you don't have your trailer hooked up? Because aren't you
know
really
what?
supposed to?
That's a good question because here's the problem. It's like I have a bulletproof hitch. They're really nice. I think it was like $250 5 or 6 years ago. Really, it's a good product. It's indestructible. Problem is though, I have locks for the hitch, Greg. um, it gets so salty on the road, and I'll sometimes lose the keys to the locks. I've had to angle grind out those pins, those locking pins, at least twice already.
Oh,
So it
really?
just
Wow.
goes to show you the little things in the business. I'm not organized with the big things, but this is where they can get us all in trouble. Trouble quickly is if you're not organized in the little things. We talked about this. You're probably not going to be organized in the big things either, aren't you?
Yeah, sometimes you just don't think about it. And I was in Lansing. I was doing a paint job for someone, and this is a couple of years ago, and went to just for some odd reason I went around the back of my truck. I didn't have my trailer hooked up or anything, and went around the back of my truck and noticed that somebody stole the hitch off my truck. That's before I had a lock on it.
That was an
And
easy cash grab for them.
oh yeah, it was those things are a few pounds, but what is it? Steel is what, 3 cents a pound? I don't know how much steel is right now.
Yeah, I don't know,
And
but I mean, well, blade prices haven't blade prices been all over the map? Text in, guys, your ridiculous blade prices, or call 856-446-8873. This is 2 years ago. I bought mulching blades for my Cub Cadet, wearing the hat, Pro X660 mower, and 6 blades, Greg, 6 Gator mulching style blades for the Cub Cadet were $250. And I let my dealer know, and I said, "Can you do any better?" And I think they knocked that down $25 off of that. So it's a thick type of steel. It's MTD steel. Steel prices, because I remember blades back in the day, Greg. You get a set for like $30. Now it's double that.
Yeah, I remembered I bought some one year, and next year after inflation hit, and they were $60 more for the same set of blades. And
They're not even that good either, right?
yeah, they weren't. Actually, I think they were more than that, but it was a 60% increase over what I'd paid the previous year. So that's what gets frustrating is when you have clients that think that you're at a $2 price increase, they're grousing about it, and all our costs go up, and that's why we got to make sure that we're keeping in line with
Oh, yeah.
with inflation, because otherwise we start losing money.
You know any guys that have gone out of business? We've been hanging in this industry, Greg. I've been 16 years, and you've been what, 7 years now, give or
It's my
take.
7th year.
Yes, man. That's almost in perspective. Greg, you've been doing this almost half the time that I have.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting old. But you ever know anyone that's gone out of business? I've seen lawn guys at like routines because I drive the same way. And it's funny when you're driving and mowing around, Greg, you can see the same companies, and all of us do this. Not even the lawn guys, the landscape guys. We try to give each other that courteous bro wave. You ever do that with the other lawn guys?
Yeah. Do the head nod, just nod the head, the hand up, and it's different. Women will kind of, if you're watching on video, the women will kind of do their flutter their hand and wave it a little bit, and guys just kind of nod the head or stick the hand up. That's the extent of how guys will wave. So, but yeah, I'll see guys a lot. Then you get the guys that don't reply. That's
Oh,
always
yeah.
fun. And
The don't reply guys, they're like too busy, but it's like a lawn care brotherhood on Keeping Up with the Joneses with Eric and Jennifer Jones. Eric had touched on this was on, I think it was a interview he did at maybe the Grow and Green event. I'm not sure, but he talks about we should all view each other as colleagues. We are in this industry together, and it's really colleagues. Sure, I may not be a landscape architect or spray lawns or know much about horticulture or any of that, but we all try to network and we all should really try to help each other. Like that's the way you grow. Not to toot my own horn, Greg, but I'm glad I was able to give you some advice when you were getting your lawn care biz off the ground, and then you just ran with it, and you've been very successful. That's where the social media and the podcasting has been huge.
Yeah, yeah, you can learn a lot from guys on podcasts, especially from us. And
Oh, you're nice.
um, but um, but no, the opportunities out here are unending. Guys are getting out of the business and allows you opportunities to get back in. So, it just depends on what which way you want to go. But we talked about the other day. Just make sure you're doing a slow, controlled growth, and and then hopefully you'll be able to grow, profit, and make a nice living.
Yeah, let's kind of touch on that more because Caleb Garrigon, is it Lakeside Property Services, I think. He launched a lawn care business in 2022. He worked a couple different jobs, and we have a lot of our listeners, Greg, who are getting into the lawn care game from um, really from part time to full time. They're transitioning onto a job like this. And Caleb, he did a nice, as you talked about it, exponential, slow growth. Because if you hop into it too fast, you'll be the in debt Dan overnight. And he slowly went from a really nice full time job at the church, just really just doing maintenance and taking care of everything, to slowly more of a full time position with lawn care. And guys want to do it. I don't think this industry is really going anywhere. I mean, we talk about it all the time, Greg. I mean, anyone can cut grass, but not everyone can cut grass. It's the same principle with painting. I mean, I can paint, but I can't paint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just be careful what you're doing, and you can grow. I think you'll have opportunities. It just depends on how you do it. Get someone that you can talk with and learn from. I learned a lot from you. I bounced ideas off you all the time when I was getting going. So that was important. That's what helped me be able to develop the business, because there were times where I had no clue what to do,
Oh
and
yeah,
so I thought I'll call Evan, and so you were a
listen to
big
me.
help for me getting going.
Yeah, but it was it. I had, but that's where you're creative though too. Like Greg, like you got a good theater background. Like you, you know how to act and like be in character, and you're thinking ahead. I'd give you some of my ideas, and then we'd say why don't you do it this way, and we would sharpen each other through our businesses. It's going to be each other's, I guess, proteges and mentors, because you've been in the you were in the corporate world for a long time, Greg, and you know how to deal with people. I was expressing some of the corporate world woes to you with people, and you were trying to tell me that, like, that's how it is with stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I know there's times where you've tried to reach out and hadn't heard back from folks, and I said they're busy. They got meetings to go to, and that was the thing that drove me nuts were meetings. I don't like meetings, and if I can avoid a meeting, I'll try and find a way to do it. And it's just that sometimes you go to these meetings and people talk just to want to because they just want to be heard, and
Just want to talk to
and
talk.
they talk to talk, and it drove me nuts. I'd go to meetings, company meetings, and people would say stuff, and they say, why did you even bother to say that? There was no reason for you to say that. And 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 I remember looking at my manager at the time a couple times, going, why? It's just,
You're just
don't
like, what?
talk if you don't have to. So, but yeah, but that was a downside. And if somebody's going on too long in one of my new company meetings now under Durbin Lawn Care, then I can shut them up.
Isn't that fun? One good
Yeah.
thing about this business, guys. Okay, we do fine. Okay, we're blessed with just it's really the community. This goes really beyond any money we could ever make. But I like being able to report to myself, Greg. I mean, we had you on the Turf Nerds podcast when I had Ben kind of co-host, and you said it was one of the best decisions you ever made was to get out of the corporate world and to get into lawn care, and you did it, before you were 60 and build something. Like it's never too late to start it.
Yeah, yeah. I started a business at 56, and started a lawn business on top of it. So, granted, we're used to the work now, but it's kind of hard work. So,
Oh, it is.
yeah. So I started a business and took on a lot of physical work at 56 years old. So it's it's something that I wish I had done earlier too, because I would have probably tried to look at growing the business. Right now, I just kind of want
Oh,
to
yeah.
stay solo. I suppose I could take a look at doing it, adding somebody on. But the thing is you have to add. You probably just to cover your costs of adding somebody on, you really need to add 30 new lawns.
Think
So,
about it. Yeah. No, we can flesh that out a tad more. First question to ask you though, guys, too. 856-446-8873. Call in. What's your startup? How'd you start up and you staying solo, but are you trying to scale up? It's a tough thing to do, Greg, isn't it? I,
yeah.
if you can add on, so if I had someone working with me full time, Greg, let's just do the basic math. Say I had 100 lawns to
Mm-hmm.
pay him off, you probably need what? 30 more lawns to do that, give or take, at paying him anywhere from 18 to $25 an hour.
Well, I used $20 an hour and 40 hours a week. That's $800
Okay, yeah.
to pay that person. Okay. Plus, if you're going to do this legitimately, which you're supposed to do,
Oh no.
you have to pay their Social Security tax. 6.5. You're going to have to pay 6.5% of theirs. So add 6.5% times 0.065. That's another $52. So now you're at $852 just to
Oh,
cover that person.
uh-oh.
Plus now you're going to have workman's comp. I don't know how much workman comp is. Let's say it's one person that's $100 a month. Now you're at $952, and let me see. So let's make it easy. Let's say it's $1,000. If you're going to give the guy benefits, I don't know
Yeah, I
if
don't
you're
know.
going to do that.
I think guys
Um,
1099 here in the industry, if they work for someone, unless you're a really big landscaping outfit, I don't see you getting really good benefits with lawn care. People ask us about health care, Greg, and we've been shot in the foot, haven't we?
oh yeah, we've been beat up. But the thing is, you can't really 1099 somebody if you're telling them, hey, you got to be here 8 to 5 Monday to Friday. They're an employee. They're not a 1099. You can't. You don't get to say that they're just because you're only going to have them for a short time. For I don't know if you could look at them as seasonal, that you could say that they're 1099, but
Maybe seasonal.
technically you can't. If you're telling somebody to be there 8 to 5 every day, they're an employee. They're not a 1099 anymore. So, so now you're paying. You don't have to pay benefits. It just kind of depends. So, but then that guy's going to say, well, I need benefits, so I need a little bit more money to be able to cover my benefits. So you're going to have to pay that person benefits too.
Look at our
So,
buddy that we had on, Greg, when I was at Sunset Beach, Jason Smith. He was working part time at UPS and then the other part time with the lawn care biz. And we asked him, he was point blank. He said he got great benefits with the UPS. I don't blame him for kind of doing that. I mean, we
yeah,
got to shop it around in the marketplace. I'm not that well spoken in this, but I can tell you one thing: premiums have gone up, and we have a low monthly premium. But when we pay, Greg, we have to pay, don't we?
yeah, yeah. Marketplaces, everybody thinks it's, the people that don't use it say, we'll talk about how great it is. The advantage of marketplace is pre-existing conditions, and that's really about it. But marketplace is not cheap. So unless you get the subsidy, but guess what? If you're getting the subsidy, that means it's really expensive, or you're not
Oh,
making enough money. So marketplace adds up. I mean, unfortunately, I had to do it, but I have a $7,500 out of pocket,
ugh.
and
It's
just
highway
for
robbery.
me, that's not counting. I think so. It's, if I recall, it's double. It's 15,000 for my wife and I, and
Just
then on
doesn't
top
sound
of
right,
it, the
does it?
premiums. So, yeah. So, but if you're going to buy somebody, if you're going to at least cover their marketplace coverage, if you're going to get them insurance, depending on the person, it's another couple $100. So let's say $1,200 a week, just to, well, shouldn't say a week. If you're going to, yeah, if you're going to sue benefits, yeah, easy math. Let's say $1,000 a week is what
Sure.
it's going to cost you to hire somebody, to employ somebody. And so that means you got to figure out how many lawns you have, what your average is per lawn. And
Yep.
that's the important part. And then, so if you're at 50 $50 a lawn, you have to pick up 20 lawns just to cover the cost of that person. That's not even making any additional money.
That's the numbers that you got to factor in, and that's where you got to really hightail it to try to build that. And we are almost before the pandemic, Greg. When I had help, my buddy Zach, who graciously helped me out for about 10 years, and we just 1099 them, even though he worked 40 hours a week. We try to give him extra. We are cutting almost 200 lawns a week, and then we've had to dwindle it down. And then I've had some help here and there, and even with the help that I've had here and there, like my buddy Rocky said, he might be able to put in some more time this year. I said, great, if you can give me more consistent hours, I can add 5 to 7 more lawns on to kind of offset that cost. Because talking to some of these guys, at least with doing snow removal, you'll pay them anywhere from 25 to 30 an hour, and then trimming anywhere from 18 to 25 an hour. I'm sitting there scratching my head. Maybe it's the pride getting in the way, guys, but good question to ask. Really open lines here. We getting a lot of engagement. Andy Wilson, when you run a legit business, everyone wants a piece of the pie. 856-446-8873. What do you pay guys? I think the industry price now is about $18 to $25 an hour, but who's going to pay a guy $25 an hour to trim? And I'm coming at this from a solo operator perspective, where I've gone through guys that didn't know what they were doing. And my OCD, Greg, goes from 0 to 10 when you have someone, you're trying to train them, but it's like lighting money on fire, and they're just scalping your lawn all the way through. It's like, sorry, I'm trying to train this guy. It's just like, better yet, just go home.
Well, and that's the thing. It's $25 an hour for a guy that doesn't know what he's doing. So that's the other side of it is you got a guy, okay, well, yeah, I'll hire you. You ever trimmed before? No. Okay, how much, I'll give you $20 an hour. No, I want 25. And now it's, to be able to take somebody on that doesn't know what they're doing at $25 an hour is a lot. And that's, you remember the numbers I used, I was at $20 an hour. So if you're doing $25 an hour, what do we say? 25 times 40 that's 1,000, isn't it? 25 times 40 is $1,000. Then you add 6.5% for 1.065. That's $1,065, and incidentals. Now you're at $1,200, $1,300. If you're making $50 a lawn, you've got to cover that. Plus, if you want to be able to, you're going to have to take on 30 lawns just to make an extra $500 a week or $2,000 a month.
We got a text here from Corey Parrish on the Turf text, guys. If you're too afraid to call, 856-446-8873. You can also text. No, Corey, I did not call. I'm afraid. I was just saying if you don't want to call. I told my guys minimum wage means you know nothing. Each equipment you learn and master is $1 more per hour. Yeah, that's kind of the approach of performance pay, isn't it? Great. Yeah. Great chiming in on there, Corey. And no, you're not afraid. That just came out wrong. So don't you love it, Greg, when I misspeak like that? It's like, oh, I did not mean to say it like that.
Well, it's a good thing he's on the phone, right? So you're not face to face with him. He
just call in and find me and scalp my lawns. But yeah, performance pay. I think that it's kind of like what Mike Andes talks about. I haven't watched much of Mike, but the long and short of him is basically, if you want to take one thing out of him, is it's performance pay. It's like you get better on the trimmer, an extra $1.
Mm-hmm. So what did Corey pay? I'm curious what Corey pays an hour to start.
Yeah, Corey, it says, I told my guys minimum wage means you know nothing. Each equipment you learn and master is $1 more per hour. So I think the minimum wage.
He's doing 15. If he's doing $15 an hour, he masters the trimmer. That's $16 an hour. He starts taking on something else. So yeah, but no, I've seen guys that, and then the other thing is they get tired of it. You have them on board for a few weeks and they don't like it, then they leave. You got to start over again. So hopefully you can find the right person.
Yeah. So. And we've talked, I've heard it talked about. I think Eric Jones has talked about it too. And Scott Mulchin with the $1 Million Landscaper. Scott and his family had ran a really big business. And when it all boils down to, it's like you got to have good. This is me sounding more like, I guess, corporate with lawn care. You got to have systems, but even we have to have systems too, Greg. And if you have good systems set in place with even your big business and your small business, you're going to retain guys. Like what is Evan and Greg doing to retain Bob Smith from working with Greg? Oh, Bob really liked Greg because he treated him well, bought him lunches here, and gave him, a small holiday bonus. You got to give these guys an incentive to stick with you. But I was talking to my buddy Derek, Greg, with Metro Lawn Care. This is like 2 years ago. He said this local lawn care, like big landscape outfit here, was paying guys $30 an hour to trim. And I kind of sat there and I thought, maybe I can go trim on the weekends then for them to
Yeah, really.
make a couple extra bucks, right?
Yeah, that's good pay, I guess, and that is really good pay for somebody to go out and trim. And but yeah, you said it though. Once if you get somebody that you really like, take care of them. Make sure that you're taking care of your employees, and that's also what we're supposed to do as believers. We need to make sure that we're treating our employees well. We're not getting on them. Yeah, you're going to have moments where they mess up, and how do you handle that mess up, and what's the best way to do it? So
It's leadership. Corey just got back to us on the Turf Text guys. So he pays them right around $17 an hour. If they
Okay.
move to supervisor, same thing. They start at 18. If they're driving the truck, 20. Okay, yeah, that's really good numbers there, isn't it?
yeah, that's good, and so he's taking care of his guys as they grow. He's taking care of them. He's giving them more stuff. So more opportunity to make a better living. So
Because that's the worst thing when you're training someone to trim. Okay, so between I guess trimming, using a backpack blower, edging with a stick edger, not on the Segway like me, or flip edging or mowing, Greg. I think the hardest for these guys might to master is the trimming, like being able to feather through lawns and not scalp stuff down. I almost have just a panic attack when you try to just lightly trim that. Okay, oh, what happened to the grass? It's just all burned now. It's gone. There's no more grass there.
it's dead. And you know what? I scalp every now and then.
All of us do.
I make up. I make mistakes. You're a much better trimmer than I am, and but it's just a matter of working my way around. And there's times, and what bugs me is you go to turn and you're on a hill, and you didn't realize that you were right there on that hill, and all of a sudden you hear the, and you look, and there's a big gouge.
You're
So
you're
and
you're
then you're
driving me crazy right now, Greg.
putting your foot over it to cover it up.
Oh yeah, I've done that. But one good thing about grass, guys, if you totally butcher it or scalp the grass like way down, not intentionally, it'll come back. And
Yeah.
I mean, just get some topsoil and some good seed. Shout out to Rhino Seed. Should get Steve on this year to talk all things grass seed. But I liked your Bobcat, Greg. Your deck would float over undulations better than my Multiforce would. Not, I mean, I love my Multiforce. I think it has one of the best decks out there to cut in wet conditions. But I got it. Okay, so how I got it, Greg, with almost no gas in it, and it was full of cat litter. So I picked it up from this warehouse, and this moron in there who was driving a Ducati bike had an oil spill. So what did he do? He just put a whole bunch of cat litter down, and my mower was full of full of dust. Oh yeah, weren't you there, Greg? Didn't you come and see it? And then the neighbor had to give us gas to put it back on the trailer. I thought you were out that way for some reason. You had, I think
I don't
maybe it was-
remember.
maybe it was someone else. But
Yeah, it might have
anyways,
been somebody else. I remember you sending me pictures of the cat litter on it.
I'm like, okay, I don't need my cat's litter on my mower. This guy was a moron. Anyways, I love the machine, but I'll admit it doesn't really float over the lawns as well as it should, even compared to like a riding or mower or like an Exmark Bobcat. Greg, you haven't touched that deck in your state's level. I've leveled mine, like my deck, probably 6 different times. I could be crazy, but Corey chimed in again, Greg. He had said, it can bite you. I had a guy who was proposed to be a supervisor and bought a setup for him. He quit before the mower was delivered. Oh, no. Yep.
That's a little disappointing. So, but that's when you take the new mower and you sell the oldest one that you have, I guess, right? So that you're just upgrading. So sorry to hear that, Corey. But yeah, it's tough when if you have somebody that you just get them going and you think you're all set and going to have something good there, and then they leave. I've had a couple of guys help me out over time, and then all of a sudden I can't make it this week, or I'm going to be out of town, and then eventually that your schedule doesn't fit with theirs, and so I just said, you know what, that's fine. I'll just do this myself. And that's the hard part.
Tell
is-
to them like that. She'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
All
hey,
right.
Greg. Hey, Greg,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go quit. I
Yeah.
get more, I get paid more to go bag groceries.
Yeah, that's the
think it's
grocery
true.
bagging is you're a union there, I believe. So I think when you're working for a grocery store, you're a union. Because years ago when I was in high school,
Isn't that Kroger?
I was working at A&P, which is no longer. And but I got there, and my first paycheck, I worked. I worked in 8 hours. My first paycheck, I got $2.10.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
I'm going, what the heck is this? I worked 8 hours and I made $2.10, and $2.10. And so I called the manager of the store. I said, what the heck? What was his name? Cornelius, I think his name was.
Hey,
And,
I'm Cornelius.
and I said, hey, what the heck is this? And he says, what do you mean? And I said, yeah, I got my first paycheck. He says, oh, yeah, congratulations, Greg. I said, it was $2. And he says, what? I said, I
would've
got a
quit that.
$2 paycheck. I worked 8 hours and got $2. And
What universe are you working in?
so anyway, what is that? It's like 30 cents an hour. Is that roughly it?
Anyways, Greg, let's do a hard break to one of our commercials.
All right.
If you haven't heard of Toa Tools yet, it's time to plug in. They're the pros when it comes to charging infrastructure and power management. Their PDM power distribution system automatically cycles charges for any brand of commercial batteries. No more one brand headaches. Stack as many outlets as you need, save space with their sleek design, and stay mobile with BPS battery power stations. Perfect for zero-emission landscaping crews, HOAs, even camping trips or a day of fishing. More charging, less hauling, more time making money. Toa Tools, designed for pros, by pros. Check them out at toatools.com or drop a line to info@toatools.com. Toa Tools, it's time to plug in.
I think someone tried to call us here. I'm not sure. Hey, if that number, if you want to call us back with the number that starts with a 5, go ahead. It said incoming call and then it doesn't ring through. I'm not sure how the system totally works, but yeah, try to call back again. But I just totally
Speaking
lost my
of, 856-446-8873. Again, 856-446-8873 if you guys want to chat.
Someone tried to call. We have good text conversation. People are out there. People are listening. So we've been talking about, Greg. It's been really interesting conversations, building businesses and employees. And I mean, what Corey was kind of saying there, that's just kind of like some of the reasons why I've stayed solo and I don't want to really scale to hire anyone. I know it could be kind of negative, but I just don't want to deal with the headache of just the heartbreak of employees that just basically bail on you.
Yeah. And you're also stuck because somebody doesn't show up. Then you've got to do. I had somebody that wanted to help me work, and I said, okay, fine, but that means I got to pick up 30 new lawns. And then and I said, and you're with me all summer. You don't get to go on vacation. Oh well, if I can't help you one week, I'll just help you the following week. I said, no, I just picked up
that's not how that
30
works.
lawns to cover for you. And to make up for what I'm going to be paying you, that means you don't get to go away.
This industry has a lot of commitment issues. That's why you stay. For some guys, stay solo, but then other guys, they're doing great at running that business with like the 4 or 5 employees. So, and I'm thinking it would be nice this year, Greg, because last year, if I had full-time help, I could get my whole mowing schedule done in probably 3 days. Isn't that like crazy and sad at the same time?
Yeah. Well, I'm got to admit, it is nice when you have somebody helping you out. You can fire through some of this stuff, and occasionally when I'd get rained on, I'd have somebody help me out a little bit just to get caught up. And I tell you what, it's nice to be able to do that, but. I give the guys credit that have.
Let's call this number back. They kept trying to call us.
The guys that have multiple employees, like these big outfits. Yeah, that's great. They do well. Good for them.
Hey,
Hello.
hello.
Who's this?
Evan on Turfs Up Radio. We got a couple missed calls.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is Aaron.
Aaron, that's I figured. What's going on, Aaron?
Not much. Hey, I was listening to the episode, and I wanted to say, like, I feel like people don't want to work from the bottom anymore. They don't want to start from the bottom pay and work their way up. They want to start at the top pay and then work their way up the ladder, but keep getting paid more.
That's perfectly
I remember
said.
when I started my first job as a 12-year-old kid, I started at $4.50 an hour. And by the time I left that place 10 years later, I was making like 20 some dollars an hour.
Holy smokes.
And then I left that job and stupidly went into retail. And then I started at the bottom again at $7.15 an hour. And I worked up to, I don't know what it was, $15 an hour or something over another 10-year period, which was lousy pay, but still. Nobody wants to start down there anymore. It used to be like you had to start at the bottom in a lot of cases. And I think kids coming out of high school and college today, because they have some sort of degree or whatever, they want to start like in the middle or at the top of the pay scale. And it just doesn't work that way in a lot of cases. Maybe they're getting that now, but that's what it seems like to me these days with employees.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Greg. It seems like these guys are entitled, and they think they can just. I mean, it's kind of sad, Aaron. I mean, you've seen guys that go to school, get that $100,000 degree, and then they can't find a job. I mean, I guess that's why they can feel kind of entitled. But you have other guys that come in and they just want to start right there at the top. Like, I agree.
Yep. Yeah. You got the
or
guy
you go
with the
shovel
master's
snow.
degree.
Go ahead, Aaron. Sorry.
You got the guy with the master's degree that's your barista at Starbucks.
Yep. Oh no, that's where it's kind of tough though, and that we're all kind of winning here. I didn't go to college. I did go to a film school, but that was a 1-year trade school. I think it was $10,000, Greg, and I did a lot with that, but. This upcoming generation, Aaron makes a fair point, guys. Check out his podcast too, Mowing in the Dark podcast. Aaron's kind of in the middle of a transition now from city to city, and he's doing a pretty good job at building his lawn care business back up from the ground up. It's been tough for you, Aaron, but you make a fair point. You've been around and you've lived around it long enough, and you've seen it. Guys come in and you're almost hiring like sometimes brats. Like there's this bratty. It's that bratty new generation. It's like you treat me with respect, I will pay you more and give you a bonus. And that's what we've been talking about. It's like I don't really want to have to deal with the headache of people, but even as solo operators, even as solo ops, we deal with the headaches too of trying to manage everyone. Sometimes it can be just you ever sit there and you just think, man, it's much easier just reporting to someone, not having to deal with this headache.
Absolutely. That's why I don't have employees, other than my son every once in a while. But I can tell him what to do.
That's the best thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, but I suppose if we really wanted, Lawn Care Life in Missouri responded and said $28.71 to shovel snow in New York City. So let's road trip it, guys. We can go make $28.71 an hour.
Yeah, I don't think I'm paying a guy 28. Well, it depends on like how much snow that we're getting to. I'm kind of glad that we missed that blizzard. I think we're supposed to get some snow this week, Aaron, aren't we? Are you guys getting any snow?
We got on Sunday we got maybe an inch, and then we're supposed to possibly get like a quarter inch yet this week, but nothing super, heavy or anything like that. It's just going to be a little bit.
I think we're out of it. Like, do you think Aaron, because Aaron guys lives about an hour and 45 minutes northwest of me. I actually got to know Aaron through the Equip Expo. Isn't that kind of cool, guys, Greg? And we've talked about it. There's other operators who live in different cities, and I would have never known Aaron if I didn't go down to the Expo.
Yeah, the Expo, all these guys I've met because of you. So,
thanks.
The group, Aaron and Tony, Andy, Phil, Dan. Well, am I missing somebody?
Riley.
Riley.
Riley Spencer, Riley Spencer. You know what he says there
What do you
about
call
the
him,
push
Aaron?
mower? Here, guys. You know what Riley Spencer says about the push mower?
You know, I'll tell you one big disadvantage with the push mower is you got to push it.
That's that. Isn't that some profound truth, Aaron?
Oh yeah, Raleigh is full of backwoods wisdom.
He is, because I mean, we always joke, Aaron, like we joke about Cameron Duncan being out there in the sticks, but you're kind of out there in the sticks too. Like you're close to some big cities, but aren't you, Aaron? Like you're used to more of the rural setting because you kind of grew up in that.
Yeah, so I bought the house that I grew up in. So we're in a kind of a line of houses that is right in the middle of a bunch of fields.
Sounds nice to me.
We're kind of, I say we're in the sticks, but we're 30 minutes from Grand Rapids. We're 50 minutes from Lansing. So we've got some bigger cities around us, but I like the rural lawn care. I never thought I would, but I really enjoy just being on the mower and just mowing, right? And there's a lot, when you're in the rural areas, for me anyway, there's a lot less trimming. So it's just a lot of standing on your mower, and it's a lot of fun. But your feet do get sore, your legs get sore, your whole body gets sore because you get
Lower
jumped
back.
around a lot. Yep.
Yeah, think
So
about
here's
that.
a question though.
Go ahead, Greg.
You moved into your childhood home. Is the house smaller than you remember?
Yes, it is.
I thought this room was bigger. So
Yep, exactly.
so so you said you're what, 50 minutes from Lansing? How far from Grand Rapids?
About 30 minutes. So 50,
About 30?
50,
Uh-huh.
50 minutes from Lansing. Yeah,
Okay.
that's where we used to live, and moved back here when we got the opportunity to buy the house.
And Aaron's taking a risk, guys. He took a risk. He had an opportunity to buy this house, and he uprooted his business. And you're doing fine, Aaron. I mean, you can follow his journey on the Mowing in the Dark podcast, but he's stepping out in faith. It sounds kind of cliche, Aaron, but you would admit there's struggles to kind of rebuild a business, and no one ever said it would be easy.
Oh, absolutely. No. And I said on my podcast before we moved or anything, kind of arrogantly, I said, if I were to lose my business tomorrow, I could build it back within a year. And well, it's been a year and I haven't
Really?
built it all the way back. But I'm about between the two businesses that I have, I'm a little over halfway to that, back to where I was.
And
So
that's great. I don't even know where I'd be, Greg. If we were to move, Greg, and do it again, I mean, it's easy to say in theory now that, we'd be just fine. But when you're out there in the trenches dealing with other guys who are lowballing, I could do it, but I think we'd be in the same boat as Aaron. You really got to just chip away at it.
Yeah, we just it would be interesting to see where you're at and how hard it would be to develop something else if you're out in an area like mine. And granted, I'm not as barren as maybe Aaron is. No rhyme intended there.
Aaron
But,
is barren.
but in
he's
terms
a
of
Todd with a pod.
yeah, but it's
That's
not,
actually a pretty good one. We have an inside text group. It's called the LCBU, which is Lawn Care Brothers Unite, and we were joking about the Chuck and the trucks, right? And then Aaron chimed in, "Well, I'm a Todd with a pod." I said, "I am too."
So we got a bunch of us, but it would be interesting to see how well you would do from where you are compared to out where I am, and then growing it. For me to try and go into somewhere where Aaron is try and grow the business from out there. So it would be interesting to see how well we would do in all those circumstances. So Aaron's having at it and growing his business. And then you've got that Ventrac. Did you have that Ventrac before you started or before you moved or no?
yes, I did. So I've had the Ventrac. This will be my 4th year with it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had it a while, and I had that business kind of running before we before we moved. So that hasn't really changed a whole lot. That's been about the same, which is good. That's a big part of the business. So
You've had steady
yeah,
Ventrac work, Aaron, and what was the catalyst? Like what was the straw that broke the camel's back that made you decide to get into the Ventrac life? Because I would argue you've had good success with it, and hearing you talk about driveway repairs on your podcast, Greg, maybe we should get into the Ventrac game. The problem is there's not many dirt roads around here. But what kind of got you into doing that type of work?
well, I was honestly, I was just bored. I was bored with lawn care, even though I was mowing, for me, which was a lot in my area in Lansing, which was like 52 lawns a week. I was just bored. It was just the same thing every week.
Yep.
And I needed something else. So I started looking at tractors first, and I saw some guys doing driveway repair and things like that online, and I just thought, that might be something that I might enjoy. And so I did a lot of research. It took me like I think I waited 2 years to actually pull the trigger on the Ventrac, and just did a bunch of research and tried to figure out, could I really make it work? And then I decided to pull the trigger. And it's a scary thing to jump out and start a new line of work, but I've never been one to shy away from stepping out of the boat a little bit. So it was actually exciting for me. Sure, it's always stressful, but once you get it up and running, then it's not stressful anymore. It's just it's something different. It breaks up the monotony of, going back and forth on lawns all day long. And so
Yep.
now I do maybe 1 to 2 driveways a week, depending on the size of the driveway and what has to be done. So it's, it's fun. It's not physical necessarily. I mean, there are some physical parts to it, but mostly you're just sitting on the machine, letting the machine do the work. I did run into some problems this past year, though, with driveways. So there's a product called processed road gravel.
Uh-oh.
And I thought, this stuff they use it on the gravel roads out here. It's supposed to be good. It holds up well. And so I started putting this stuff on driveways, and I did maybe 6 of them. So not too many, but this spring, they just went to slop. I mean, I had everybody calling me like, my driveway's worse than it was before. And that was really stressful, because, I thought that this product was supposed to be really good. And it turns out that they use this product on the sides of the road. They don't use it on the gravel roads. They use a different mix.
Oh no.
But all of the companies around here call it processed road gravel.
Oh, the terminology is
So
funky
it's-
then.
Right. So there's another mix to it that doesn't even have, well, they call it processed road gravel, but they call it, I think it's like 22A or something like that, or 23A, and it's got more stone in it. So now this year, after the stress is finally worn off with that, I've talked to all the customers and we've worked out a plan for how to fix it. But now I have to go back and fix all those driveways. So there's always stress in every business. With the Ventrac work, the stress is just multiplied, by 5 because of the numbers, just the sheer numbers of the work, the price of the work that you're doing. But if you scalp a lawn, it's not the end of the world, right?
Oh no.
And it's the
Comes
same
back.
thing with a driveway. Same thing with a driveway. Yeah, it's gonna really stink for the homeowner for the spring, while they have to drive through this mucky driveway. But then we'll fix it up and we'll get it back to where it needs to be. And so you just have to let stuff like that eventually go, and just be like, okay, this is just part of running a business. Mistakes will be made, and you just have to fix it. So there's going to be stress with every business. So if somebody's listening to your radio show here and they're thinking about starting a business, I would say, man, there's no way you can actually be totally prepared for it. And the mistakes that are going to come and the hazards that are going to come, you just got to be willing to step out and just do it. Just give it a try. There's nothing that is not recoverable from, in business. You can recover from just about anything. So just give it a shot. You don't have a whole lot to lose.
Hey, Greg, you gave it a shot, and I think you've done pretty well.
Yeah, just went out, made the effort, and did whatever I could to survive for that first year, and it worked out well. I can't say how much I was pleased. There were times, kind of like what Aaron said, they're willing to try something, but there were other times where I looked at it and said, that's not going to be my wheelhouse. And I just said, look, it sounds like a really good opportunity, or sounds like a really interesting job. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, but that's just not an area where I have the right equipment or the ability to be able to do that. So I'll have to pass and I would refer somebody else for the opportunity. So I've had times where people have said, hey, can you pull all these shrubs for me? And I thought, okay, shrubs are pretty easy. And you go there and you look, and these things are 10 feet tall. And I'm going, no, I don't think I'm pulling those. So fortunately, I have a friend that does a landscaping business, and I've referred out some work to him, just because it was too big of a job for me to be able to do. And again, I didn't have the right equipment to do it. And I've showed up a couple of times. I just happened to come to mow the lawn while he was there. And, the equipment he had is much bigger than, hooking it up to the back of my truck and pulling. So it's, just find the right thing. I do have a question for you though, Aaron. What is the, cutting, I don't know if you call it a cutting swath or not, on your Ventrac? How wide does that go?
So I don't have a mower deck for it. You can definitely get a mower deck for it. They make several different ones. You can go from anywhere from a 62 up to a 92, I think.
I'm sorry. I was referring to I'm referring to just your driveway part. I'm sorry. I just call that, sure. I call that cutting as well, I guess. What do you call that? Is that not cutting or no?
No, that would be like,
grinding?
You'd almost call it like grinding or a grinder. Okay. The attachment is called a power rake. I think it's 6 feet, 5 or 6 feet. I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
But it's not terrible. It's kind of, they make the same type of thing for behind tractors. And so those can go, sometimes you can get those a little bit wider, like 6.5 feet. There might even be a 7-footer out there somewhere, but it takes a lot of power to run it. Mm-hmm. So they can't make them super, super wide because it takes just so much power to run those.
As you were talking about, Aaron, it was kind of, isn't it daunting, Greg, when you get like a mulch job or there's something done and you go away and the rain or something comes and washes it away? You'll just go, we take so much pride in our work, Aaron. So when you had that one driveway that kind of fell apart, I mean, I can relate to that though too with you, because we got to take pride in our work, and you solved the problem. Granted, it took you, a little bit to figure out what was wrong, but that's how we learn, isn't it?
Oh, it was maddening.
I like that maddening.
It wasn't just one driveway. It was like 6 driveways, and I was just very upset. In fact, I had one that got so sloppy, and it's right up the road from me, that I had to actually go get straw and put down straw to kind of help harden it up a bit. And this was in our spring, like it was like an early January thaw or something like that, where we got like 2 inches of rain overnight, and all the snow had melted, and it was just really nasty. So I put down like, I don't know how many, like 12 bales of straw on this person's driveway just to firm it up until I could get back to it in the spring. But yeah, you know, you're always going to run into some sort of issue like that. I had to chuckle when you said when it rains or pours and it washes your mulch out. I've had that done with driveways before, where you go the day before a storm and you work up a driveway. I do a thing where they call it tracking in, where basically you're packing it with your truck or your heaviest piece of equipment. So you pack the driveway, and then the next day we will just get a deluge of water. And it just the driveway isn't going to hold. It hasn't had time to. What you want with a driveway is you want like a light rain after you've done the work, so that it kind of hardens, right? You want it to harden up, and it will if it rains, just kind of lightly, not too much. But I've had it several times where we get like 1.5 inches, 2 inches of water the day after I do the driveway, and it washes out. And then, I get a call, hey, the driveway didn't hold. And I say, okay, I'll be back out to fix it. And, you do those type of things for free in the driveway business. Like, you go back out and you work it up again for free, because you want to stand behind your work. And that it's hard to swallow that, but it teaches you lessons when you're doing it. Like, hey, dummy, maybe look at the weather before you're going to go do a driveway.
Oh man.
And, make sure that it's not going to pour. So you learn lessons, and you got to pay the stupid tax a little bit. And
I pay the stupid tax everywhere. I talk to my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. My age, how many times do you think I've paid that stupid tax? But I think Trump's going to try and waive some of that stupid tax for us, I guess, right? I don't know if you heard, he said if you're 65 or older, he's going to waive property. He wants to waive property taxes for you if your house is paid off. So I don't know. Does the stupid tax count in that too, or no?
I don't know. Something tells me he's not going to get that passed through.
Well, Whitmer's trying to pass 10% on 65 or older. So she's trying to do that for property taxes. So if she can do it, why can't he, right?
Well, that's true. That's true.
I like what you said, Aaron, though, and this goes with any line of work, even down to cutting the grass, which my cat could do it. Stand by your work. And Aaron,
Evan has a very talented cat.
Yeah, I mean, my cat, guys, my cat can cut the grass. We're going to have a lot of listeners turn off. Why is he has a cat? We rescue the cat. We prefer a dog, but if you're going to get a dog, do the dog due diligence and actually, pay attention to it and walk the dog. Dogs need a whole lot of work. Cat's great. Hey, we're going on a 2-week vacation. No, it'll be fine. It's going to automatic feed her water. See you later, kitty. But you said something so good here. We have about 2 minutes left here, 2.5 minutes before we're done. Standing by your work, and you have a high dollar, at least with the driveway repairs, Aaron. That's a really high profit and high dollar job. And even us cutting the grass or doing some other smaller jobs, we try to stand by that too. And that is so true, because I'm sure they really appreciate it. Hey, Aaron stood by it. He came back and he took care of us.
Yeah. So I've had some driveways that just did not work out well. Like, they'll get potholes that come back, 6 months later or whatever. But the customer will tell me, I'm not going to go with anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
You stand by your word, and you come back and you do what's right. And so, I've got to revisit another driveway again this spring. Nothing that was my fault, but they've used me 2 or 3 times already now. And just have to go back and work up that driveway again. And, of course, they pay me for all those times, because it's like 6 months in between each one. So it's, it's not my fault, but they keep using me because they see the integrity that's there. And when I first did that driveway, we got one of them rains, and I did have to go back out and rework it again right away. And, so I stood by my work, and because of that, they've been loyal to me for their driveway needs. So it's, it goes both ways. And sometimes you're not going to get that, right? Sometimes you're going to stick by your word, and they're going to say, trust breaks down, and they don't trust you anymore. And that's fine, right? You made a mistake. they have every right to say, man, I just don't trust your work anymore. Please come back out and fix it. And then, I'm going to find somebody else. And that's totally fine. I understand that. I get it. Being that I've owned a couple of homes and we've had to have some work done, like I totally understand where customers are coming from. And I try to put myself in their shoes. Like, I get why they might not trust me anymore for their driveway stuff. I totally understand that. And that's fine. Maybe they should question it, right? If my work doesn't hold up, they should question it. And so you have to have that mindset going in. Like, I could screw this up. They might not have me back or whatever, but I'm going to do the best that I can do. And you just have to have that motivation to do the right thing.
As well said, Aaron. We are up against a hard break. I think we're doing the crosswalk. Hey, Eric, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Eric.
Could you hear Greg or no?
I don't hear him.
Hold on. Let me try to fix this here. You know what? Oh, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge here. Give me 1 second. I guess we're going to have to just go with the Pro2 chat. You can hear me, though. Are you on the
I
show
can't
yet?
hear him.
Okay. Do you have a permanent Zoom meeting for next time? So then at like at 7:50, then we can just do it hard, like